How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all revved up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Skottie Young. If you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. He is a gorgeous illustrator, comic book artist extraordinaire, such a wild and vivid imagination, and I just love his stuff. The more and more I see of his stuff, the more and more I fall in love with his creative style. It's very original. I think he does a mix of kind of highbrow comic art with cartoon infusion, I would say. A mix of kind of a Jamie Hewlett with more, I don't know, modern day cartoon stylings as well. But this is one of the ones that he did from Wizard of Oz that I just loved. I loved that one. It was great. Like I said, he's got such a wacky imagination. This is one of his couple of panels from New I Hate Fairyland, I think is the name of it. And it's just a really, he does the blending of different ideas so well. And I just love his imagination, and you can tell that his work comes from a place of kind of a whimsical, unique personality that just shows off in all of his work as well. Great stuff. Great. I love the composition and the color choices and the layout and the action and the movement of the piece throughout as well. There's just so much working great in this for sure. And the expressions on the character. But I did want to share a quote with you guys from him as well that said, "There's nothing I hate more than drawing a straight line or skyscraper that needs to have correct perspective. I love everything to look like it's made of melted butter. Jumping into the creator-owned world, you try to add the landscape in a way that wouldn't fit at the other publishers." And I think that's a complete and utter summing up of kind of his own work, is the way that he draws and thinks and illustrates is very unique to himself. I love it because he thinks, I think, differently than myself. I'm a perfectionist, and I'm always thinking about perspective and angle and weight and balance, and I feel like sometimes in my own work that I lose a little bit of the energy in there, that I think I overthink things too much. And I love that he goes, I don't want to draw a straight line. I want to do stuff that feels natural to him. And I think that's a great attitude to have. And I picked this quote because it kind of, I wouldn't say goes against, but it's a different way of thinking than I think. And I love to challenge myself to start thinking in ways that are foreign to me. And I just love it. And I love that he talks about the creator-owned world rather than the publishing world, and that it's the landscape that you create, the worlds that you create, they have to be unique and imaginative and original. Otherwise, you don't have that voice that's coming across that's uniquely yours. So it's a great challenge for myself, and hopefully it'll inspire you guys to think a little bit differently about your work as well. And again, if you look at this, he's not saying that you don't understand the fundamentals. It's that you go beyond the basics of perspective into understanding it, but getting the essence of the art across rather than the picturesqueness of it. That being said, let's go ahead and get into some animation. This is the Kidoo rig. It's a free rig you can grab over at Creative Crash. And if you've never watched any one of the videos here on the channel, first of all, thanks for watching. You guys are amazing, and I love you lots. And what we'll be doing for the rest of the video is we give ourselves 48 frames, give or take a few. I go off and I find a rig that I've never used before. It's a free resource for you guys to play around with as well, and we kind of go from there. A little bit of over the shoulder, hang out with me while I animate. A little bit of talking through the process, or talking about doing some instruction or some guidance, or at least thinking about the creative world. And the main goal of doing these videos is to hopefully encourage you guys and inspire you to go off each and every day and make something new and original and unique. And in the case of the Skottie Young, make it like melted butter, but maybe you have different stylings, but whatever it is, utilize those to the best that you can. So that being said, let's go ahead and delve in here. I was thinking for this one, do something that I haven't really messed around with too much, and that'd be, let's do some jumping jacks, see if we can figure that out. That might be fun to play around with. So let's, first off, let's get into our main storytelling beat that we're going to have here. I want to do, I guess it's rotate. Huh. This isn't really the way that I would say a rotate should be. So I want to keep it flat on the ground. See if there's a heel pivot. Maybe I could just do a little bit of that. But see, it still kind of angles up there. It's kind of strange. Okay, we can do a little bit of toe pivot, I guess. Do it that way instead. Just so we can get a little bit of angling in the foot and still keep it on the ground there. Okay, and let's go ahead and relax the chest a little bit more. So let's go ahead and dip that down a little bit. And push that back a little bit here. Go ahead and rotate that head so he's looking upward more. Do we have a neck controller or not? Let's see. Alright, just do a little bit of that. And I'll go ahead and plop the hands down, the arms down here. As you can see, there's a different orientation that this rig has than the usual typical world orientation here. So just be aware of that when you guys are using this rig if you do end up playing around with it. And let's go ahead and do that. And let's tilt this. We just want to create something a little more interesting and unique of a pose than what you kind of give in the default T-pose stylings of. And let's see, what do we have for finger controllers here? Alright, we got something we can actually use. Cool. Whoa. Maybe not that one. We don't want to intersect there. Yeah, let's look at the fingers. Let's just do a little bit of curl there. Pull, bend down a little bit. Okay, and try to see if maybe I should drop that back a little bit more there, and let's group them a little bit better too. Now, looking if they have a splay here. Doesn't really. Oh, there we go. We can do a roll there, just so we can get a little bit better grouping and completely pulled apart there. And let's do some roll one here. Let's bring that one a little bit and a little more. Curl ends a little bit. And it's always good to get good, unique hand poses. Those help add a bit of character. So I always encourage you guys to go off and make some fun hand poses there. You can. You have to be aware of what the rig can do, though. Okay. So I think we can start with something like that. We'll go ahead and save our file. We are using Autodesk Maya 2014 for today's video. And let's go ahead and set our frame range from 0 to 48 here. And let's turn our grid off. And we'll save our file. If you want more information on Autodesk Maya, I always have a link in the description below. Wonderful program. My favorite one for animating. And let's go ahead and make sure we just have our NURB curves, NURB surfaces, and polygons selected. We'll go ahead and grab everything, go to frame 0, and we'll set our first key. Now for this one, let's get started with the feet here. So we'll go there, we'll go 12, we'll go out. Again, like I said, I may have done one animation that was jumping jack before, but if so, it was a long time ago, so you'll have to kind of bear with me. It was just watching myself in the mirror doing a couple, seeing what they actually look like and not what I was thinking they were like. So, okay, let's go ahead and go down, up, down. Well, I think I'm going to switch that. I think it's going to be up and down instead of down and up, but we'll just go with it for now. I think we'll have it loop too. We can go back in, just let it cycle, do 2 little jacks, and then go back here. So let's see. Okay, so we're obviously gonna need to go down more here. So let's see. So we have a little bit of varying height there as well. Do something like that. There's something kind of funny with the hair here. I wonder if they have. I don't know if I'll get into that or not. Okay, and then let's make sure we go back to the original pose there. Okay, now let's go ahead and grab the feet here. Again, we're just kind of building this. It's not fully there yet. I just want to kind of get in the bounciness of it so far. So let's go with 6. And okay, obviously we're going to have to do each one of these individually. And we'll raise that up. Raise it up again. Raise it up again. And raise it up again. Okay. Lift it up there, go down, lift it up there, down, lift it up there, down, up there, down. So let's see. Now we're going to need to hold these a little bit more. So we'll take what we have at 1 and hold that to 2. So we get 2 frames there. 12, we'll hold that to 13 just so you get at least a couple of frames of contact there. 24, we'll hold it to 25. 36, we'll hold it to 37. And then go back. Okay. You could probably even go 3 frames. Let's see, it might be too much though. But I do want those holds to feel like they're actually hitting the ground and not just doing 1 frame a hold there. So let's see. Yeah, that feels a little better. Okay, now let's look at the translate lines here. And let's kind of bring them down a little bit. I don't need them to be so high up. Even out a little bit more. I think I might push them back a frame as well. So let's see. Okay. go ahead and do a little bit of rotate Z down there. There. Rotate Z down there. Down there. Down there. Just dragging that foot a little bit. Bring it back. And then let's go ahead and see. Hold that there. There. Just making sure we key these in. And we'll probably dink with that in a little bit too, but just making sure that we kind of get those main keys locked in for our timing and everything there. Hold that. There. So let's see. And then let's go to we got toe break. What do I got here? Toe roll. There, I can drag that toe down there. Lift it up. And zero out. And I think I'm going to push that forward one frame as well. So I want it to still get 2 frames of contact there. Okay, probably too much flip up. And then again, let's go to roll, key that, and we'll drag that down a little bit. And then we'll go that, and we'll lift it up here. Delete that one. So that heel will hit and then the toe. Still get that little bit of overlap. So let's look at it now. Maybe 1 frame later. Yeah, that feels a little better. And let's amp it up a little bit more. So let's see. Okay. And let's keep that. Drag it down a little bit here. We might have to lift this foot back up again because we're intersecting with the ground plane. And keep that. Again, we want to make sure that we get that heel contact and then the toe contact. And do that so that we can get a better seam in between where it ends and lands there. So let's watch just this foot. Okay, it's starting to do a little more, but I think I want these to be a little bit heavier, so I'm going to go ahead and go back into the translate Y. If it will let me. Why is it not grabbing it here? So translate X here? I guess so. Weird, isn't this one translate Y? Couple funky things with this rig. I'm just gonna make it so that it goes up a little bit higher. It's the end goal. Whether it's in translate X or translate Y, it's not that big a deal. And let's feels a little better. Okay, well, let's go back to this guy. Let's do a little bit of rotate. Z here. Drag that down. Drag that down. Drag it down there. Drag it down there. And then it'll be there. Again, let's go and look at it. Okay, let's crank up the translate Y, which is translate Y on this one, and it's X on the other one. But the up and down, we're just going to crank that up a little bit more. Sorry, should be more on mic. Let's look at the toe here. So we're going to go to this controller. And go down there. Go up here. Zero it out there. And drag that there. Lift it up here. Zero it out there. And zero it out there. I want to make sure that I have still that 2 frames of contact there on that toe. And drag it down there. Lift it up here. 2 frames later. Zero it out. Keep it at 0. And then we go 43. We'll drag it down again. Lift it up, and then we'll have to go back in and do. Actually, I want to go 1 frame sooner than that, right? And a little bit less here. And 0 out there. Make sure it stays at 0 for 2 frames. I could do it a little bit up there. Alright, let's go and look at it now. I feel like we need to amp up the up and down even more, so let's push the down a little bit more here. Just feels like there's, that feels a little better. And I guess we could do a little more up as well, just to help the weight feel a little more, a little bit heavier. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the arms. We'll swing them up there. And then we'll go here to 24, 36. Now let's look at the other one. A little bit of rotate Y and Z, it looks like here. Go back there, and then we're going to break up the elbows and the wrists, loosen that up a lot more, and let's go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, now let's look at the now we'll go to 18, stretch it out there. Okay, now one thing we're gonna have to do, unfortunately, I was hoping we might be able to do some of these rotates, but not. So I think it means we're gonna have to go out in X. Hopefully that won't mess things up too much. Okay. Does make it look a little funky in the shoulder, but I think we're gonna have to sacrifice that so I can get a better arm break here. Let's go ahead and do something more like that. And then what we're going to have to do with this is rotate dries, it's not going to feel nearly as loose. So let's see how that feels just right now. Okay, don't know if we want that broken, but let's see. Let's see. Let's look at the wrist here. Go ahead and crank that down. Put it up here. Crank it down there. Put it up here. And bring it back down there. So let's see. Now let's do it a little bit. I feel like we should favor this a little bit more. Favor it down. Take that to up there. Let's see. So we get a little bit tighter movement there. Do want to try and get some different angle on that wrist though. Let's see. We should move it back about 3 frames. That would really drag there. It just feels like it's not nearly as heavy as I was hoping it would feel. Really wants more snappiness in there, which means we're going to have to play with either timing or posing a little bit better. Let's hold that till about 6. drop it down. Maybe I'll just go under and I'll do it myself here. Okay. I'll go down there. And there. Snap it up here. Down there. Down there. Snap it up. Tighter. And bring it back down. Huh. Let's see. I think I like that. At least there's some variety in there too. So we got that hitting. I think what I probably want to do is bring that down there. That's probably better. We'll add some variety in there too. It's not perfect cycling, but I think the timing is a little bit better and we get that little bit of a hit in there. And one thing we might have to do is tone down the doesn't go as high here. So we don't hit the head there. So let's see. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now I do think that I want to do a little bit. Because I don't want it to smack him in the head. So maybe we'll just have to do a little bit less. Scale it back a little bit. The first one's going to be a little bit less there. There we go. Okay, and now let's look at the other arm here. We just kind of want to mimic that. So let's take what we had at 2 and put that at 5. So we favor that a little bit more. Go 12. Okay, just trying to remember what I did on the other side there. Bring that to 29. And we just had a couple breaking up there, so let's look at it again. Okay, and again, I think I'm gonna have to do a twist in the arm, which I really don't want to do too much of. Oh, I'm sure I didn't do that. Rotate in the arm so that I can get the break where I want in the elbow. And I wanted to do this on every 6. Okay, that's fine. I'm just kind of mimic where we're going with the other one. And then break it. Go down. let's see. Alright, starting to come together. Now I don't like these arms so forward to cam. So let's do a little rotate X there. It's a little better. Unfortunately, that means we can't really do a side view because we get some deformation in there, but that's okay. It's better to play the camera if you can, especially with something like this. Okay. Now let's go ahead and save our file here, and let's see if we have a. I was hoping there might be a separate controller for the spine. All right, cool. So let's have this go down. Okay, not that way. It must be X here. We can do a little bit extra drag. And then go up. And then down. Just to help our weight feel a little more floppy and bouncy here. So this will be different timing than the hips actually are, even though this is like the hip itself. Let's see how it feels. I feel like we need to exaggerate that more. So let's go ahead and do that. Feels a little better. We could probably do more down. Let's see. Okay, and let's look at the top here and see if we can't do a little bit there as well. Yeah, we gotta be aware of doing too much of this as well. But hopefully if we can do the right amount, we'll just add that little bit of squash and stretch in here. I'll go back again. Okay, let's see. Alright. Let's see. And then maybe what we could do as well is push the chest forward a frame and the up and down the hip back a frame. So there'll be a little bit of successive kind of movement through it. Let's see if we like that better. Again, I don't want to do a ton of this, but let's see. Now we might need to do a little more up and down though. So I'm feeling like we're kind of more down as well. And I think I'm going to tone down the amount that I did on here. But the translate X, it's just too much squash and stretchiness, and you're just kind of supposed to feel it. You're not really supposed to see it. So stretching so much. It just feels like there is still that squishiness of it. So let's look here. One thing I did want to do is hit up the shoulders here. So let's go. Okay, or not. Just some movement in there, because those were feeling really stiff. I don't really like it, but at least it's something. And let's look at the head. Let's see, is there actually translating the head? There is. Alright, great. So let's go up here, down there. Actually, I think it's X that's the up here. Up and down. Then we'll delay that a frame or so and get a little bit of recoil on there. Go back again. So let's see. And let's delay it 2 frames. So the one that goes down here. Let's see. So that way the head's a little bit behind. Maybe we can amp the down up a little bit more. That sounds funny. Turn the down to a larger volume. Amp up the down. Okay, that way we get a little bit there. And then we could do a little bit of rotate. What is it? Z here, down that way. Up that way. Down that way. Up that way. So you get a little bit of rotation in there as well. Let's play around with the translate Y's on the feet a little bit more to get some variety in there. Just to help mix it up a little bit more. Yeah, let's turn this foot up a little bit more because it feels like it's getting overshadowed by the other one. I think when I go out here, I want to do a little bit of, what was that, toe pivot out a little bit. See, I'm not sure about that. I think it might work. I think maybe we have to push the knee out a little bit more. We'll vary that a little bit here. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like that little bit of the, let's crank that up a little bit more. We can really angle that out. And this side as well. Okay, so toe pivot like that. 2. We just want it to hold there so we don't get that slip. We'll bring that back up here. Hold it for 2 frames. Put it 2 there. Back again. I think that might be too much out onto a pivot, so let's do something a little more like this. Let's look at the knee here. So let's see how that works. Yeah, see, it feels a little more loose on that foot than the other one. Okay, now I still need to do the fingers, and I want to do this toe pivot here. Key that. Key that. And key that. And that one. I'm just going to do this one more in the graph editor instead here. And then key this one. Okay. So I'm going to hold there and go up here. It's at 1. I still want it to be at 1 there. That goes back into, what's that, -2 here. Grab both of those and go up there. Okay. Yeah, feels a lot better on the feet, I think. So let's take a look at the fingers here. Let's go ahead and do a little bend here. And drag back there. Bend here. Drag back there. And go back to where we started there. So let's see. Okay, and then we'll take the bend 2 and 3 on the index, middle, and pinky. We'll delay those a frame, and then the bend 3, and we'll delay that one a frame, so that way the bend 1 is leading, the bend 2 is following, the bend 3 is following after that. Okay, you gotta be careful about a little bit of movement there, so. Not quite sure how I'm gonna make it so that it blends as well into there. Maybe it's just that I'm seeing. There's just a little bit of a okay. And then let's go ahead and take the index here and we'll push it forward a frame. Pinky there, and we'll delay it a frame when we get a little bit more variation in our timing. Let's look at the thumb here. We'll have the thumb bend back there, and bend up here, bend back there, go back to where it was before. Alright, come on guy, keep working out, you can do it. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at the other hand. So let's do a little bit of curl here, our fingers, swing them out there, curl them in, swing them out, and then go back again. let's take the bend 2 and 3 on the index, the middle, and the pinky, and we'll delay those a frame, and the 3s. We'll again delay those a frame, so we lead with part 1, follow with part 2, and then follow with part 3. And we'll take the index, and we'll push it all forward a frame, and the pinky, and we'll delay it all a frame there. And let's look at the thumb then. Let's go ahead and bend that a little bit this way, that way, this way, and then back again. Let's see, do we have a jaw here? A mouth. Open? Yeah, I do have open. Okay, let's do a little bit of bounce in there. So let's go 3. I'll have it open. Then 9. I'll have it closed. 15. We'll open it. 21. We'll close it, just so we get a little bounce in there. Open. Close. Open. Close. And back to 0. Okay. So we get a little bit of flop in there. And then do we have a blink on these eyes? We do. Okay, let's do a blink in there. Let's open a little bit more. 2 frames, 3 frames. We'll go down, hold that, go open again, and back there. And just so that we get a little bit of, let's see. It's hard to watch with everything going on. Blink, open, and back again. Let's look at the eyebrows here. We'll go up there a little bit. Okay. Up there a little bit. Down on the blink. Keep them down. Up a little bit more. I'll go back. We'll hold the beginning pose for closer to that. And that way it just feels a little more fleshy. So let's see. Yeah, I think that works all right. And then let's go ahead and save our file. And I think what I want to do is just offset by 1 frame the beginning from the end, so we don't really get a full hold from there. And let's go ahead and watch that now. Still a little bit of a seam in between there, but it's a lot better. Okay, I think that'll do it for today. Turned out all right. Definitely got some bounciness in there. Got the movement. We could still spend probably another hour cleaning this guy up, but I think that it's a good place for today. So let's take a look at where we started off with the beautiful quote and the lovely illustration work of the amazing Skottie Young. And he said, "There's nothing I hate more than drawing a straight line or skyscraper that needs to have correct perspective. I love everything to look like it's made of melted butter. Jumping into the creator-owned world, you try to add the landscape in a way that wouldn't fit at other publishers." And that's what I challenge you guys to do. Try to work in a way that doesn't necessarily fit into anyone else's mold, but is true to who you are and your unique and wonderful imagination that you all have. It's such a powerful tool, and I urge you guys to go off and create something new and original and spectacular today. I love you lots. If you guys are watching this, you are the creative future. I completely believe in you. Thanks again for all the likes and subscribes, and I think that'll do it for today. So that being said, I guess that means we'll see you for some more animation and using that imagination and being creative tomorrow.